August 2008, number 37. The question is, the cost of 3 markers and 2 pens is $1.80. The cost of 4 markers and 6 pencils, is $2.90. What is the cost of each item? Include the appropriate units in your answer. Please pause the movie long enough to calculate your own answer, and then join me for the result. So first we have to write a dictionary of sorts, a very, very short one. And we're going to tell everybody who reads this that X is going to be equal to the cost of a marker. And then we're going to tell them that Y is going to be equal to the pencil cost. That means we should be able to write 2 equations here. Let's see. What's the cost of all the markers in the first example? Let's see, there's 3 markers and they each cost X. Let's see, there's 2 pencils and they each cost Y. So if we add those 2 together, we should get, what's it say there? $1.80. Now that's one equation with 2 unknowns, and we can't solve that. Let's see if we can write another equation. The cost of 4 markers. And once you recognize these kind of problems, they go pretty quickly. 4 markers will cost that much. Let's see, 6 pencils will cost this much. If I were to add those 2 together, they're going to cost $2.90. I got it. 2 equations, 2 unknowns. I can solve this. Now the problem with this one is none of the coefficients match up. That is, they're not the same but opposite signs. How about, we could do all sorts of things. How about if I multiply my first equation here, what if I multiply it by a -3? And if it is an obvious y, it will be in a second. The second equation, I'm just going to copy it over. 4x plus 6y, and that's going to be equal to $2.90. But the second equation, let me see if I multiply everybody by -3. I think it would be -9x's plus -3 times 2 would be, oh, okay. So I got to go back and erase that. My positive, so my addition sign, I got to lose that. That should be a -6y, and hopefully it's obvious now why I did what I did. We'll talk in a minute. And -3 times 80, -3 times 0, 0, -3 times 8 is going to get me 24, carry the 2, and -3 times 1 is going to get me 3, and 2 more is going to get me $5.40. -$5.40. Now I hope it's obvious why we chose to multiply the first one by -3. I'm going to add these 2 equations together. I'm going to get, let's see, -5x's. I'm going to add the y's together, and they're going to cancel. And that's the whole idea. See, $3 would be $2.40, and 10 more would be $2.50. A -$2.50. And when I divide both sides of this equation here by -5, I'm going to get, let's see, 50 cents. Well, according to our little dictionary, X was the cost of a marker, so apparently X is 50. Apparently the cost of a marker is 50 cents. Now I just have to go figure out the cost of a pencil. I could take either equation. I'll take the first one, no big deal. I'm going to take the first equation, I'm just going to copy it down again. But this time, I'm going to rewrite it, and where I see an X, I'm going to put 0.5 or 50 cents. 2y is equal to 180. Half of 3 is going to get me 1.5 plus 2y, which is going to get me $1.80. Let's see, subtract 150 from both sides, and looks like I'm going to get it 2y is equal to 30 cents will be left over here. And if I divide both sides by 2, I'm going to get an answer of 15. If they ask me a question in English, I have to write an English sentence as my answer. My answer might be, you could phrase it any way you want, but my answer might be, the cost of a marker is 50 cents, and the cost of a pencil is 15 cents. Please remember, if you leave your work exactly the way I have it here, you won't get full credit. No one ever asked you what X was. No one asked you what Y was. They ask you in the question, what is the cost of each item? So make sure you tell them in English. The cost of a marker, 50 cents. The cost of a pencil, 15 cents.